Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk about something that resonates deeply with many of us, the feeling of being undervalued or overlooked. We've all experienced it at some point, whether in our personal relationships, workplaces, or social circles. The pain of feeling unappreciated can be profound, but it also presents an opportunity for growth and empowerment. Let's explore 11 ways to make them regret not valuing you. The first step is understanding your own value. Embrace your strengths, talents, and contributions. When you recognize your worth, you set a standard for how others should treat you. Establish clear boundaries that reflect your self-respect. Communicate what behaviors are acceptable and what are not. When you draw the line, you show others how to respect you. Focus on personal growth, learn new skills, pursue your passions, and take care of your mental and physical health. When you invest in yourself, you elevate your self-esteem and attract the right people into your life. Don't hesitate to express your thoughts and feelings. Speak up for yourself in a respectful yet firm manner. Assertiveness is a powerful tool for demonstrating your value. Build a network of supportive and uplifting people. Distance yourself from those who don't appreciate you. Positive relationships reinforce your value. Don't shy away from sharing your successes. Celebrate your accomplishments and let others see the value you bring. Confidence in your achievements makes others take notice. Prioritize your well-being. Engage in activities that nourish your mind, body, and spirit. When you take care of yourself, you send a message that you deserve respect and care. Don't always be there for others at the expense of your own needs. Create a sense of scarcity around your time and energy, which will make others appreciate you more. Embrace your true self. When you are genuine and unapologetic about who you are, you naturally attract those who value you for your authenticity. If someone has made you feel undervalued, address it directly. Open conversations can lead to understanding and growth, allowing others to recognize your worth. Sometimes the best way to make someone regret not valuing you is to walk away. When you choose to leave a situation that doesn't serve you, it speaks volumes about your self-respect. Understanding your worth is a profound journey that requires introspection and honesty. It's about recognizing that you are inherently valuable, independent of others' opinions or validations. This realization doesn't come from external achievements, societal expectations, or the approval of those around you. Instead, it stems from an inner sense of self, rooted in your experiences, struggles, and triumphs. When you know your worth, you embrace your unique qualities and contributions. You begin to appreciate your strengths, whether they lie in your creativity, empathy, intelligence, or resilience. This self-awareness allows you to stand firmly in your beliefs and values, making it easier to navigate challenges and setbacks. It also empowers you to set healthy boundaries, ensuring that you're surrounded by people who recognize and respect your value. Moreover, knowing your worth helps you break free from the cycle of comparison. In a world that often measures success through external markers, it's easy to feel inadequate or less than. But when you cultivate a deep understanding of your own value, you shift your focus from how you measure up to others to celebrating your individuality. You recognize that your journey is unique, and your experiences shape your perspective and growth. This inner strength doesn't mean you won't face doubts or moments of insecurity. Everyone experiences those feelings at times. However, when you truly know your worth, you can acknowledge these doubts without letting them define you. You can embrace vulnerability as a powerful tool for growth, using it to connect with others and build meaningful relationships. Ultimately, knowing your worth is about self-acceptance and self-compassion. It's recognizing that you are enough just as you are, and that your value is not contingent upon the validation of others. By embracing this mindset, you open the door to healthier relationships, both with yourself and with those around you. You become a beacon of confidence and authenticity, inspiring others to recognize their own worth as well. In a world that often tries to diminish our value, knowing your worth is a radical act of self-love and empowerment. Setting boundaries is an essential act of self-respect and self-care, but it's often one of the hardest things to do. It requires courage to protect your peace, time, and energy, and it can feel uncomfortable, especially if you're used to putting others' needs before your own. But boundaries aren't about building walls to shut people out. They're about creating guidelines that allow you to thrive and show up as your best self, both for yourself and for others. Establishing boundaries begins with understanding what you need in order to feel safe, valued, and respected. This involves getting clear about your limits and being honest with yourself about what you're willing to accept. These limits might revolve around your time, your emotional energy, or your physical and mental well-being. Boundaries look different for everyone, and they aren't one size fits all. What matters most is that they're rooted in your needs and designed to protect your well-being. Communicating boundaries can be challenging, especially with those we care about. Often we worry about disappointing others or being seen as difficult. But honoring your boundaries is a way of respecting yourself, and when you approach it from a place of kindness and clarity, you're giving those around you a chance to respect you too. There's a misconception that setting boundaries is an act of selfishness or rejection. In reality, it's an act of love for yourself, and in many cases, love for the other person as well. Boundaries give relationships a structure in which they can flourish without resentment or burnout. The act of setting boundaries also requires consistency. It's not enough to state your limits once and hope others respect them. You need to reinforce them, reminding others and sometimes yourself that these boundaries are non-negotiable. Consistency doesn't mean rigidity. Boundaries can adapt and change over time, just as we grow and evolve. However, when you're consistent, you establish a sense of stability in your relationships and reinforce that your well-being matters. One of the most empowering aspects of setting boundaries is the freedom it brings. When you're clear about what you can and cannot accept, you're no longer swayed by others' expectations or demands. You feel a greater sense of agency over your life, making choices that align with your values and needs. You're able to say no without guilt, understanding that this refusal isn't a reflection of your care or compassion. It's simply a way of preserving your energy for what truly matters. Moreover, boundaries help us recognize who values and respects us. People who honor your boundaries are more likely to respect you as a whole person. They understand that your time and energy are valuable, and they don't expect you to stretch yourself thin. On the other hand, people who consistently push or ignore your boundaries reveal their unwillingness to respect your needs. This awareness can be difficult but also liberating. It allows you to make more informed choices about who you want to invest your energy in and who may not have your best interests at heart. When you begin setting boundaries, you might face resistance. Some people are used to you saying yes or being readily available, and they may not immediately understand the change. It's normal to feel uneasy or even doubt yourself in these moments. But remember, setting boundaries is a process, and it's okay if it doesn't feel easy right away. The discomfort you feel is part of growth, and over time, it will give way to a sense of empowerment and peace. Boundaries are an evolving practice of self-care, one that you may need to revisit and adjust. Life changes, relationships evolve, and your needs will shift over time. Be compassionate with yourself as you navigate this journey. Setting boundaries isn't a skill you master overnight, it's a continuous commitment to honoring yourself. By practicing boundaries, you're building a foundation of self-respect, resilience, and compassion. And in doing so, you're not only valuing yourself, you're encouraging those around you to value you as well. Investing in yourself is one of the most transformative commitments you can make. It's the acknowledgement that you are worthy of time, energy, and resources to grow and flourish. This investment goes far beyond material success. It's about nurturing every dimension of who you are, mind, body, and soul, to create a life rooted in fulfillment and purpose. When you choose to invest in yourself, you're making a statement: I am worth the effort. Personal growth often starts with self-awareness. It requires tuning into who you are at your core, understanding your strengths, and acknowledging areas you want to develop. This is not about perfection, but about nurturing a sense of curiosity toward yourself. Self-awareness invites you to ask questions like, what are my passions? What lights me up? Where do I want to improve? By paying attention to these parts of yourself, you gain clarity on what's most meaningful to you, and that clarity serves as a guide to the kind of life you want to create. Investing in yourself also means carving out time to learn. This can take many forms, from formal education to reading, attending workshops, or engaging in experiences that broaden your understanding. Learning isn't just about adding skills to your resume, it's about feeding your curiosity and expanding your horizons. Knowledge has a unique way of building confidence. When you know more about a subject, you feel more empowered to navigate challenges and seize opportunities. But more importantly, learning helps you feel connected to the world in deeper, more meaningful ways. Another key aspect of self-investment is taking care of your physical and mental health. This isn't something to overlook or push to the bottom of your priority list. Your body and mind are the foundation upon which everything else is built. When you nourish yourself, whether through a balanced diet, regular exercise, therapy, meditation, or just adequate rest, you're ensuring that you have the energy and resilience to face life's demands. It's a way of saying, I respect myself enough to take care of myself. Investing in yourself also means exploring your creative and emotional side. Creativity is a powerful tool for self-expression, whether it's through art, music, writing, or any other form. Engaging in creativity can be healing. It allows you to process emotions, explore ideas, and express parts of yourself that words alone can't capture. Likewise, nurturing your emotional side means building emotional intelligence, the ability to understand, express, and manage your emotions. This, in turn, strengthens your relationships and deepens your connection to yourself and others. Personal growth often requires stepping outside of your comfort zone. It's easy to stay where you feel safe, where the risks are low and the outcomes are predictable. But real growth happens when you stretch yourself and embrace the unknown. This might look like taking on a challenging project, traveling somewhere new, or simply trying something you've never done before. Stepping into discomfort allows you to discover strengths you didn't know you had and builds resilience, teaching you that you're capable of more than you may have thought. Self-investment also encompasses building a supportive network. Surrounding yourself with people who encourage and uplift you is essential. These are the people who will celebrate your wins, help you learn from setbacks, and remind you of your worth when you forget. Investing in yourself isn't just about solitary work, it's about finding a community that nourishes your growth. When you invest in your relationships, you create a network of support that amplifies your personal journey and inspires. Financial investments in yourself are also important. Whether it's signing up for a class, buying books, or attending events that align with your goals, using your resources to foster growth is worthwhile. Investing financially in yourself sends a powerful message that your development is a priority. It's a tangible way of putting yourself first, saying, I am willing to put my resources into building a better, more fulfilled version of me. Finally, investing in yourself requires patience and compassion. Growth doesn't happen overnight. It's easy to get caught up in the idea of quick fixes or feel discouraged if progress feels slow. But self-investment is a journey, one that unfolds in its own time. Some seasons of growth may be more intense than others, and that's okay. Being gentle with yourself as you navigate this journey is just as important as any action you take. Self-compassion keeps you grounded, reminding you that this process is not about rushing to the finish line, but about enjoying the richness of becoming who you are meant to be. Ultimately, investing in yourself is an act of self-love. It's the recognition that you are valuable and deserving of growth, joy, and fulfillment. This commitment allows you to live a life that feels true to who you are. By prioritizing your growth, health, and well-being, you don't just build a better future for yourself, you inspire those around you to do the same. You set an example that caring for oneself is not selfish but essential. And in doing so, you create a ripple effect, encouraging others to recognize their worth and invest in themselves too. Being assertive is a powerful expression of self-respect and self-awareness, but it's often misunderstood. It's not about being aggressive, demanding, or controlling. It's about honoring your voice and standing up for your needs, values, and beliefs. Assertiveness is a skill that invites you to communicate openly and honestly, grounded in self-confidence and respect for others. It's about trusting that your voice matters and allowing yourself to speak from a place of truth, even when it feels uncomfortable. To be assertive, you first have to be clear about what you need and value. This requires a level of self-reflection and understanding that can sometimes be hard to achieve. You have to ask yourself, what do I truly want? What am I unwilling to compromise? Assertiveness starts with this kind of honesty. It's not about assuming that others should know what you want or need. It's about taking responsibility to communicate that clearly. When you recognize what's most important to you, it becomes easier to advocate for yourself in a respectful, meaningful way. Being assertive also means learning to say no without guilt. Many of us were raised to believe that saying no is rude or selfish, so we end up overextending ourselves or taking on responsibilities that drain us. But every time you say yes to something that doesn't align with your values, you're actually saying no to yourself. Assertiveness allows you to set boundaries and prioritize your well-being without feeling guilty. Saying no can be challenging at first, but over time, it becomes an essential act of self-care. You learn that protecting your energy and time is as much about honoring yourself as it is about respecting others. When you're assertive, you communicate directly and clearly, but with empathy. This means expressing your thoughts and feelings without diminishing someone else's perspective. You speak honestly, yet you do so in a way that respects the other person's feelings and experiences. It's the difference between saying, I don't have time for that and I appreciate you thinking of me, but I need to focus on other priorities right now. Assertiveness isn't about shutting others down. It's about honoring your needs while being considerate of theirs. Being assertive also requires a willingness to accept discomfort. Often the fear of conflict or rejection holds us back from speaking our truth. But true assertiveness involves pushing past that fear, understanding that discomfort is a part of growth. When you advocate for yourself, you might not always be met with agreement or approval, and that's okay. Assertiveness isn't about being liked by everyone, it's about being true to yourself, even when it's challenging. Over time, the more you practice speaking up, the easier it becomes, and the more confident you feel in expressing who you are. Developing assertiveness often means shifting your mindset from pleasing others to honoring yourself. This shift can be uncomfortable because it goes against so much of what we're taught about getting along or avoiding conflict. But being assertive isn't about creating conflict, it's about creating clarity. When you communicate your needs openly, you make it easier for others to understand where you stand. You're not leaving people guessing or assuming. Instead, you're bringing authenticity to your relationships, building a foundation of trust and mutual respect. One of the most powerful aspects of assertiveness is how it transforms your relationships. When you're willing to be honest and vulnerable about what you need, you create an environment where others feel safe to do the same. Assertiveness invites reciprocity. When people see that you respect yourself enough to advocate for your needs, they're often inspired to respect themselves as well. This creates a more balanced dynamic in relationships where everyone feels valued and heard. Instead of resentment building up from unmet expectations or unspoken needs, you create relationships rooted in openness and mutual respect. Practicing assertiveness requires resilience because you won't always get the response you hope for. There will be times when others don't understand, disagree, or even push back. But remember that assertiveness is not about controlling outcomes, it's about staying true to yourself. Every time you express your needs honestly, regardless of the outcome, you build inner strength. You develop a deeper sense of trust in yourself, knowing that you can handle whatever responses come your way. Assertiveness, therefore, is as much about self-trust as it is about self-expression. Another crucial part of being assertive is embracing the concept of boundaries. Boundaries define where you end and others begin. When you set boundaries, you're not only protecting your own well-being, but also fostering healthier relationships. Assertiveness enables you to articulate these boundaries in a way that's clear and kind. You communicate what's acceptable and what's not, giving others the chance to respect your limits. This kind of openness doesn't push people away, it actually creates a safe space where everyone's needs can coexist respectfully. Assertiveness also enhances your sense of empowerment. When you consistently advocate for yourself, you develop a stronger belief in your own abilities and value. This empowerment radiates into every area of your life, from work to personal relationships. You start to believe in your capacity to handle challenges and pursue opportunities that align with your values. Assertiveness strengthens your self-confidence, reminding you that you are worthy of being heard, respected, and valued. Finally, being assertive allows you to show up as your authentic self. It encourages you to embrace vulnerability, expressing your true thoughts and feelings without fear. This authenticity not only helps you feel more aligned with who you are, but also deepens your connections with others. When you show up authentically, you invite others to do the same, creating relationships where both parties feel valued and seen. In the end, assertiveness is about living a life that feels true to you. It's about respecting yourself enough to advocate for your needs and beliefs, even when it's challenging. Assertiveness doesn't mean you always get what you want, but it does mean that you're not afraid to ask for it. It's a way of saying, I am here, I have value, and I deserve to be heard. And when you approach life with that mindset, you empower yourself to create more meaningful, fulfilling relationships and experiences. Surrounding yourself with positivity is a deliberate choice to seek out people, environments, and experiences that uplift, energize, and inspire you. It's about curating a life where the people around you contribute to your growth, happiness, and resilience, rather than draining your spirit or undermining your self-worth. While we can't always control who we encounter or work with, we can choose who we allow into the closest parts of our lives, and that choice has a profound impact on our well-being. To surround yourself with positivity, begin by reflecting on the qualities that bring out the best in you. Ask yourself, who inspires me? Who makes me feel valued, seen, and supported when you're around these people? You feel safe to be yourself, knowing that you won't be judged or dismissed. Positive people don't shy away from your flaws or vulnerabilities. Rather, they encourage you to embrace them and grow. They listen with empathy, celebrate your successes, and are there to offer perspective when you face challenges. They don't just brighten your day, they help you see your own strength, guiding you toward a life that feels true to who you are. Choosing positivity doesn't mean avoiding people who are struggling or only seeking out those who are constantly upbeat. True positivity isn't about ignoring hardships or pretending everything is fine. It's about finding people who are committed to growth, authenticity, and resilience. Positive people acknowledge the challenges and setbacks but choose to face them with optimism and courage. They're the friends, mentors, and family members who help you see the light even when things feel dark. When you're in a tough place, they're the ones who lift you up without judgment, offering support in ways that make you feel capable and hopeful. Cultivating a positive environment also means protecting your space from those who bring negativity or drain your energy. It can be hard to distance yourself from people who might not have your best interests at heart, especially if they've been in your life for a long time. But surrounding yourself with positivity sometimes means making difficult choices about who gets to be close to you. There's a difference between supporting someone through their struggles and consistently being pulled down by their negativity or lack of respect. By setting boundaries, you can create space for the people who truly appreciate and nurture your growth. Creating a positive circle is also about the environments you choose. Think about the places that make you feel at ease, energized, or inspired. Whether it's a favorite coffee shop where you feel productive, a nature trail that helps you recharge, or a community group where you feel welcomed and understood, these spaces contribute to your sense of positivity. Surrounding yourself with positivity means being intentional about the physical and social environments you immerse yourself in, choosing spaces that reinforce your values and encourage your growth. Surrounding yourself with positivity goes beyond just your immediate circle, it includes the content you consume. The books you read, the media you watch, the podcasts you listen to, and the online communities you engage with all shape your mindset. If you're constantly exposed to negativity, fear, or judgment, it's going to affect how you see the world and yourself. Instead, seek out content that uplifts and empowers you, that challenges you to think in new ways, and that encourages compassion, resilience, and self-acceptance. This doesn't mean ignoring the tough realities of life, but balancing your exposure to them with reminders of the beauty, kindness, and strength that also exist in the world. Surrounding yourself with positivity is also an act of self-compassion. When you choose to bring people into your life who see your worth and reflect it back to you, you're reinforcing your own self-love. Positive relationships create a mirror that helps you see yourself more clearly without the distortions of doubt, insecurity, or shame. These connections remind you that you're worthy of support, love, and respect. They help you to trust in your own goodness, making it easier to be kind and compassionate. Ultimately, surrounding yourself with positivity is about creating a support system that empowers you to grow. Positive people believe in your potential and encourage you to pursue your dreams. They don't just tell you what you want to hear, they're honest and constructive, giving you feedback that's meant to help you, not tear you down. They remind you that setbacks don't define you and that you're capable of overcoming challenges. Being around people like this cultivates resilience, helping you become stronger and more confident as you navigate life. And here's something truly beautiful: as you make the choice to surround yourself with positivity, you'll find that you start radiating it too. Positivity is contagious. When you feel supported, loved, and valued, you're more likely to extend that same energy to others. You become a source of encouragement and optimism, contributing to a cycle of positivity that spreads to everyone around you. By choosing a life filled with positive influences, you're not just creating a better world for yourself, you're helping to create a better world for everyone you meet. Showcasing your achievements is an act of honoring your hard work, resilience, and growth. It's about embracing what you've accomplished and giving yourself the recognition you deserve, not out of arrogance, but from a place of self-respect and gratitude. When you share your successes with others, you're not just celebrating the milestones, you're also acknowledging the journey, the setbacks, the persistence, and the courage that got you there. For many of us, it can feel uncomfortable to showcase our achievements. We worry about seeming boastful or fear that others might judge us. But there's a difference between showing off and sharing what we're proud of. Celebrating your achievements is not about saying, "Look at me, I'm better than you." It's about saying, "Look at what's possible when you stay committed to your goals," by owning your accomplishments. You're giving yourself credit for the work you've done and inspiring others to see what's possible for them too. Showcasing your achievements is also about self-acknowledgement. So often we move from one goal to the next without pausing to recognize what we've achieved. This mindset can leave us feeling like nothing is ever enough, creating an endless cycle of striving without fulfillment. When you take a moment to reflect on and share your accomplishments, you're giving yourself permission to feel proud. You're recognizing the progress you've made, which builds confidence and encourages you to keep going. Sharing your achievements can also inspire others in powerful ways. Think about the time someone else's story motivated you to take action or reminded you that you're capable of more than you realized. When you showcase what you've accomplished, you're contributing to this same positive cycle. You're showing people that hard work, dedication, and persistence pay off. You're reminding others that it's okay to dream big and to celebrate every step of the journey. Being open about your achievements also builds connection and community. When you share what you're proud of, you invite others to share in your joy and to celebrate their own wins as well. In doing so, you create an environment where success is a shared experience rather than something isolating. Instead of competing or comparing, you're encouraging mutual support and inspiration, creating a space where everyone feels empowered to share their progress. Showcasing your achievements also reinforces a mindset of gratitude. When you look back on what you've achieved, you're not only celebrating the outcome, but also appreciating the lessons, growth, and support that helped you along the way. Every achievement, big or small, is an opportunity to express gratitude for the journey. This perspective keeps you grounded and reminds you that success is not just about reaching a destination, it's about who you become along the way. To showcase your achievements in a meaningful way, consider the impact you want to make. Think about how your story could help others, or how it might open a conversation about resilience, hard work, or overcoming obstacles. Maybe it's a lesson learned or a breakthrough moment that you think others would benefit from hearing. When you share from a place of authenticity and purpose, your achievements become more than just personal wins, they become opportunities for others to learn, connect, and grow alongside you. Sharing your achievements is also an invitation for constructive feedback and continued growth. When you're open about what you've accomplished, you give others the chance to offer insights, guidance, or even celebrate with you. This openness creates a support network that can help you grow further. Achievements are not endpoints, they're stepping stones in a journey. By sharing what you've done, you open yourself up to opportunities for future learning and improvement, allowing your success to fuel even greater growth. In the end, showcasing your achievements is an act of courage and self-compassion. It's a way of saying, I am proud of who I am and what I've accomplished. You're giving yourself the acknowledgement you deserve, and that's something worth celebrating. Recognizing your own worth, valuing your efforts, and letting others celebrate with you allows you to truly own your success. And when you own it, you open the door for more achievements to come because you believe you're capable, and that belief is one of the most powerful motivators of all. So don't hold back. Give yourself permission to showcase what you've accomplished, to share your journey, and to let others see the strength, resilience, and passion that brought you to this point. By doing so, you're not only honoring yourself, you're showing others what's possible, fostering a supportive community, and paving the way for more successes ahead. Practicing self-care is an act of love and respect toward yourself. It's about recognizing that you are worthy of time, kindness, and compassion, just as much as anyone else. Self-care goes beyond pampering. It's about nurturing every part of who you are physically, mentally, and emotionally so that you can show up fully in your own life. By committing to care for yourself, you're not being selfish, you're ensuring that you have the resilience, energy, and presence needed to face life's challenges and embrace its joys. Self-care starts with listening to yourself, truly tuning in to what you need. This can be challenging in a world that often rewards productivity over rest or resilience over vulnerability. It's easy to ignore your needs when you're focused on meeting deadlines, supporting others, or keeping up with responsibilities. But self-care invites you to ask yourself questions like, how am I feeling? What do I need right now? What would bring me peace or comfort in this moment? These small check-ins remind you that your well-being matters, that you deserve attention and care too. Taking care of your body is a fundamental part of self-care. It's about moving in ways that feel good, nourishing yourself with food that gives you energy, and resting when your body asks for it. Exercise, sleep, and nutrition are often seen as basics, but they are also powerful acts of self-respect. When you care for your body, you're acknowledging that it's the vehicle that carries you through life. You're saying, I value myself enough to keep my body healthy and strong, and when you treat your body with kindness, you create a foundation of wellness that supports everything else you do. Self-care also means caring for your mind. In a busy world, your mind can quickly become overwhelmed with stress, worry, or information overload. Mental self-care involves finding ways to quiet that noise, whether through mindfulness practices, journaling, reading, or simply taking breaks throughout the day. It might mean setting boundaries on how much news you consume or limiting time on social media. When you care for your mental health, you're not avoiding reality, you're making space for clarity and calm so that you can engage with the world from a grounded place. Our emotional self-care is just as important. This involves acknowledging your feelings and giving yourself permission to experience them without judgment. Too often, we're taught to dismiss or bury our emotions in favor of staying strong. But true strength comes from embracing your full humanity, allowing yourself to feel sadness, joy, anger, or excitement without shame. Emotional self-care might look like talking to a friend, seeing a therapist, or simply sitting with your emotions to understand them. By nurturing your emotional health, you create a space where you feel safe to be who you are, knowing that all parts of you are worthy of love and compassion. Self-care also invites you to protect your time and energy. This might mean setting boundaries or saying no to commitments that don't align with your values. It can be hard to turn down requests or let others down, but self-care is about recognizing your limits and honoring them. When you protect your time, you're respecting your own needs and creating space for things that truly matter to you. This might mean dedicating time to a hobby, spending time with loved ones, or simply allowing yourself to rest. Boundaries are not walls, they're acts of self-respect that help you thrive. Creating a self-care routine that works for you is a process of trial and error. What nourishes one person might not resonate with another, and that's okay. Self-care is deeply personal. It's about finding the practices and habits that bring you peace, joy, and strength. This might involve experimenting with different activities, whether it's painting, meditating, walking in nature, or practicing gratitude. Your self care routine should feel like a gift to yourself, something that renews you rather than a checklist to complete. Practicing self care also requires self compassion. There will be days when you skip your workout, forget to meditate, or feel overwhelmed despite your best efforts. In these moments, be gentle with yourself. Self care is not about perfection, it's about progress and patience. It's about understanding that taking care of yourself is a journey with ups and downs. By offering yourself grace and forgiveness, you remind yourself that it's okay to be human, to make mistakes, and to start again whenever you need. Ultimately, practicing self care is an act of empowerment. It's a way of saying, I am responsible for my own well being. Self care isn't something to fit in when you have extra time, it's the foundation of everything you do. When you care for yourself, you show up more fully for others. You bring more patience, understanding, and resilience to your relationships and responsibilities. Self care isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. It's what allows you to be the best version of yourself, to navigate life's challenges with grace, and to savor its moments of beauty with an open heart. By committing to self care, you're acknowledging that you matter. You're saying, I am worthy of care, rest, and joy, and in honoring your needs, you create a life that feels balanced, fulfilling, and true to who you are. This commitment to self care, to nurturing yourself, is a profound act of self love, and that love radiates into every part of your life, allowing you to live in a way that feels whole, authentic, and deeply meaningful. Limiting your availability is about protecting your time, energy, and well being. It's a form of boundary setting that allows you to prioritize what truly matters without getting overwhelmed by demands that pull you in all directions. For many, the idea of saying no or being less available can feel uncomfortable, especially if you're used to helping others or feel pressure to be constantly accessible. But learning to limit your availability is not selfish, it's a commitment to live intentionally, grounded in your values. When you limit your availability, you're giving yourself permission to focus on what's most important to you. It might be time for family, a creative pursuit, self care, or simply the chance to recharge. You're saying, my time is valuable and I'm choosing to invest it in what aligns with my goals and well being. By reserving your energy for the things that matter, you're able to show up more fully for the commitments you do make. You're not stretched thin, instead, you're engaged and present, bringing your best self to what you've chosen to prioritize. Setting boundaries around your availability is also an act of self respect. When you overextend yourself or take on too many responsibilities, it can lead to burnout, resentment, and even a sense of losing control over your own life. Limiting your availability means recognizing that you are worthy of boundaries, that your needs are as important as anyone else's. It's a way of saying, I am here for others, but I am also here for myself. When you honor your limits, you reinforce your own worth, reminding yourself that you don't have to be everything for everyone. Limiting your availability can be as simple as taking small, mindful actions, setting specific hours when you'll respond to messages, scheduling dedicated time for yourself, or even setting no as a full sentence when needed. This practice teaches you to listen to your inner voice, to recognize when you need rest, and to take action to protect that need. When you create space for yourself, you're not isolating or shutting others out, you're simply reserving the energy you need to stay balanced and fulfilled. By limiting your availability, you're also setting an example for others. You're showing that it's okay to protect your time, that saying no is a healthy part of maintaining relationships, and that caring for yourself is a priority, not an afterthought. When others see you honoring your boundaries, it often encourages them to do the same. It creates a ripple effect where everyone feels more empowered to take ownership of their own time and well-being. Limiting your availability is a form of self-compassion. It's acknowledging that you don't have to be constantly on to be valuable or loved. There will always be more demands, more opportunities to help, and more people to connect with, but by setting limits, you're allowing yourself to recharge and come back with renewed energy. This balance is what prevents burnout, giving you the resilience and clarity to continue giving to others without losing yourself in the process. One of the greatest benefits of limiting your availability is that it allows you to be more intentional with the relationships and commitments you do choose. You're not rushing from one thing to the next, exhausted or distracted. Instead, you're present, attentive, and able to give your full attention to the people and tasks in front of you. This intentionality leads to deeper connections and more meaningful interactions because you're engaging from a place of fullness rather than depletion. Ultimately, limiting your availability is about reclaiming control over your life. It's about shifting from a reactive way of living, where you respond to every demand, to a proactive one, where you decide how you spend your time. When you limit your availability, you're making room for what truly matters, building a life that reflects your values and honoring the importance of rest, reflection, and personal growth. By setting these boundaries, you're creating a life that feels balanced and purposeful. You're allowing yourself to focus on what fills you up, on the things that nourish and inspire you. Limiting your availability isn't about saying no to others, it's about saying yes to a life that feels authentic and sustainable. It's a courageous act of self care that lets you nurture yourself and, in turn, be there for others in a way that's genuine, whole, and deeply fulfilling. Being authentic is about showing up as the truest version of yourself without pretense or masks. It's allowing yourself to be seen for who you really are, your strengths, imperfections, dreams, and vulnerabilities, all of it. Authenticity isn't something that comes easily in a world that often pressures us to conform, to be perfect, or to fit into certain molds. But when you choose to be authentic, you're making a commitment to honor your own truth and to live in alignment with your deepest values and beliefs. Authenticity begins with self-awareness. To be true to yourself, you first have to know who you are. This involves spending time with yourself, reflecting on what truly matters to you, and understanding what drives you, what scares you, and what makes you come alive. This is not a one-time process, it's an ongoing journey of discovery and growth. As you gain clarity about who you are, it becomes easier to make choices that reflect your true self, rather than what others expect of you. Being authentic means embracing your vulnerabilities. It's about allowing yourself to be imperfect and letting others see you as you are. This can be intimidating, especially if you're used to hiding parts of yourself that feel less than or unworthy. But the truth is, vulnerability is the foundation of genuine connection. When you let down your guard and allow others to see the real you, you create space for meaningful relationships that are built on trust and acceptance, rather than on an image of who you think you should be. Authenticity invites connection that goes beyond the surface, allowing others to feel safe to be themselves too. Living authentically also means standing up for your values even when it's hard. It's easy to go along with the crowd, to nod in agreement when you don't really agree, or to avoid speaking up because it feels risky. But when you choose authenticity, you're choosing to honor your own principles and beliefs. You're saying, this is what I believe in, and I'm willing to stand by it. This might mean setting boundaries, having difficult conversations, or making choices that others don't understand. But it's through these moments of courage that you align your actions with your values, creating a life that feels true to you. Authenticity also involves giving yourself permission to change and grow. Being true to yourself doesn't mean staying the same forever. It means allowing yourself to evolve as you learn, experience, and grow. This can be challenging, especially when others expect you to remain consistent or stick to familiar roles, but authenticity honors the reality that we are constantly changing and that each version of ourselves has value. By embracing this growth, you give yourself the freedom to explore new parts of who you are without fear of judgment or self-criticism. In a world that often rewards conformity, authenticity is an act of courage. It's saying, I am enough as I am, even when that doesn't fit others' expectations. It's acknowledging that your worth isn't tied to how much you achieve, how popular you are, or how perfectly you perform in life. Authenticity is rooted in self-acceptance, in the knowledge that your true self is enough, flaws and all. This acceptance doesn't mean you don't strive to be better, but rather that you recognize you're worthy just as you are. Being authentic also means taking responsibility for your own story. Each of us has experiences, struggles, and unique paths that shape who we are. Authenticity is about owning that story, the good and the bad, without hiding from it. When you take responsibility for your life and choices, you gain a sense of empowerment. You're no longer living based on others' expectations or judgments. Instead, you're creating a life that reflects your own truth, which is one of the most liberating things you can do. Choosing authenticity also allows you to inspire others. When you show up as yourself, you create a ripple effect that gives others permission to do the same. Your courage to be real becomes a source of encouragement for those around you, showing them that they don't have to pretend to be someone they're not. By being authentic, you help foster a culture of openness and acceptance where people feel safe to be themselves. This authenticity invites people to connect on a deeper level where they can truly be seen, heard, and valued. Ultimately, being authentic is about living with integrity. It's about aligning who you are on the inside with how you present yourself on the outside. It's about creating a life that feels genuine, fulfilling, and true to your own path. Living authentically brings a sense of freedom because you're no longer hiding behind masks or trying to meet external expectations. Instead, you're embracing your full self, imperfections included, and moving through life with a sense of wholeness. In the end, authenticity is one of the most powerful acts of self-love. When you choose to be authentic, you're choosing to believe in your own worth, to trust in your unique perspective, and to show up in a way that's real. And as you embrace your true self, you're creating a life that resonates deeply with who you are, a life that feels grounded, meaningful, and undeniably your own. Communicating your feelings is about sharing the truth of your inner experience, allowing others to understand and connect with you on a deeper level. It takes courage to open up, to express what you're feeling without fear of judgment or rejection. But when you do, you create the potential for real connection and understanding in your relationships. Expressing your feelings isn't about placing blame or demanding certain responses from others. It's about allowing your thoughts, emotions, and needs to be seen, heard, and valued. The process begins with acknowledging your own feelings. Often we push emotions aside or deny them because they feel inconvenient, overwhelming, or uncomfortable. But to communicate effectively, you must first be honest with yourself. Take a moment to ask, what am I really feeling? Why does this matter to me? When you identify and accept your emotions, you're taking the first step toward expressing them in a healthy and constructive way. You're giving yourself the permission to feel without judgment, which lays the foundation for authentic communication. When it's time to communicate your feelings to others, aim for clarity and honesty. It can be tempting to water down your feelings to make them more acceptable or to avoid potential conflict. But true communication requires transparency. Speak from a place of I statements, I feel I need I'm hurt because dash, which helps you own your feelings and prevents others from feeling accused or defensive. And by speaking directly from your heart, you're allowing others to see you as you are, inviting them into your experience without trying to manipulate their reaction. Expressing your emotions also requires vulnerability. Sharing feelings like sadness, fear, or disappointment can make you feel exposed. But vulnerability is the very thing that brings people closer. It invites empathy, compassion, and connection. When you show your genuine self, including the parts that feel tender or insecure, you create a space where others can be real with you too. You're showing that it's okay to feel deeply, that emotions are not something to hide, but something that makes us human. Another key to communicating feelings is being mindful of timing and tone. Feelings are valid, but the way we express them can impact how they're received. When you're feeling especially intense emotions, it can be helpful to pause, take a breath, and collect your thoughts before speaking. This doesn't mean suppressing or delaying your feelings indefinitely. It simply means giving yourself the chance to express them in a way that aligns with your intentions. By choosing a moment when you can communicate calmly, you're ensuring that your feelings are conveyed with respect and clarity, increasing the chances of being understood. When you communicate your feelings, it's also important to make space for the other person's perspective. They may not respond in the way you expect or might have a different interpretation.